62 to 8, and Isaiah 26, verses 3 and 4.
All right.
That was tongue twister, but it ignited my spirit.
Right, right. Hey, look, this is our last show of the year, you know.
Oh, my God.
Well, so until next year, hope you're having a good New Year, good holiday, good Kwanzaa. And that's what we're going to talk about on the show today, Kwanzaa. You know, and I got a young lady in here that's very informative, was very well trained by one of the best, not trained, but taught, you know, by one of the best here. So,
Okay.
so we're going to,
Yeah, I'm listening.
okay, so we're going to talk to you later, baby girl.
Oh,
And look, thank you for, you know, being involved, because you did the sound check this morning.
For the whole year, thank you from Brother Jay.
Yeah, Brother Jay said thank you for the whole year.
good kiddo, sweet. And I want to hear the show about the ones. I think that's wonderful to do. And the new year coming, all these wonderful things, we got to lean closer on God every day, all day.
Mm-hmm.
My now you're
Good.
And big kudos to you, Wallace, with the show. We're going to do it on another level in the new year coming. Keith and Brother Jay, you guys have my prayers and my thanks.
Yes, yeah. Well, keep Brother Keith, Dad in your prayer too, because that's why he's not here today. He's with his dad, you know.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we're gonna talk back later, sweetheart.
Blessings, sweetie.
All right. Thank you. Now we got our spirit ignited. You know, we're gonna go into the show. I want to introduce you to Janice Green. You know, she come a long way, y'all. She come a long way, and she had a good teacher. You know, got her involved, and I first met Janice. She was fighting the school system for her son, and she did the right thing because he turned out to be a fine young man. You know, no trouble that I know of. You know, so she did the right thing. So with that, I want to say good morning to you, Janice.
Good morning.
You know, and we're here to talk about a legend. You know, we're going to talk about Kwanzaa. We're going to put Kwanzaa in the right place. I heard a person say the other day, the only reason why we do Christmas because we was never taught nothing but Christmas. And when the African principles come out on Kwanzaa, a lot of us don't understand it. So we keep doing what we was taught, you know. But this morning we want to really get into the legend of Lafayette. You know, he passed away, and Sister Janice Green taken up a lot of his the things that he have done. She even brought his book, Black I Am, Cajun Creole I'm Not. You know, he was very inspirational to a lot of us here, even to myself. I remember we did a protest, on a protest that they was protesting President Obama and the moratorium. I look up, guess who's in my back? Brother Takuna, you know, and that made me proud to see him standing with the soldiers marching against the moratorium. So with that, Sister Janice, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Wallace. First, I would like to, we're going to go into the Kwanzaa. I would like to do the principles of Kwanzaa.
Okay.
But before I begin, I would just like to give a brief description, if I was to describe Brother Takuna as to who he was as a person and a man. It would be from a quote of Dr. King: "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. So that's how I would describe Brother Takuna. And there's so many different things that we have that we can talk about because he did so many great things, you know, so many meaningful things. And many might have thought he was fighting them, but no, he was fighting for us against the entity that he stood strong for against.
Against the system.
Yes, so let me clarify that it was never a fight about any individual, any activist, any leader, any pillar of the community. He stood to assist him.
Yeah.
Unafraid and unapologetic.
Yep. Sure was.
So that's the Takuna I know. I would like to begin by reading the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. It's called the Nguzo Saba, which are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Umoja, which stands for unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Kujikajulia is self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves, instead of being defined, named, created for, and spoken for by others. Ujima, collective work and responsibilities, to build and maintain our community together and make our sisters and brothers' problems our problems, and to solve them together. Ujima, cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. Nia, it's the 5th day of Kwanzaa, which is purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Kuamba, creativity, to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. Imani, which means faith, to believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Those are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. But I would say, if I was to say what it means to me, that means power.
Yeah.
Power. If we truly lived our lives with principles, stuff, we would have the power to begin what so many of us talk about, and that's saying, how do we bring unity to ourselves? First, we must have power to do that. So, you have anything to say on that, Ms. Morris?
Well, again, all these principles here, we should have knew them long time ago, you know. And then when you get the warriors to come out and try to teach us the right way to do our life, we have to talk about them because we don't understand what's really going on. A lot of time I talk about the one-eyed monster. That's the TV. And what religion have done to us is misled us and misguide us. You see, in all these principles here, you know, it's trying to put us back on the right track to make sure that we gone in the right direction, you know. We've been having head-on collisions, you know, with our faith, with our culture, with the world that we live in, because it got so many people going in so many different directions. And this is a good direction. You know, I try to follow those principles. You know, I may not do the best job of doing it, but I really tried. You know, we come to holidays, seem like everybody just want to be happy on holidays. After the holidays is over with, we go back to the way we was, or the way things was before the holidays. But that's a good principle, you know. And I thank Brother Takuna. He wasn't the only one that was introducing it, but he was the only one that was pushing it, you know. And I think about him often, you know, because if he was still here, this is what he would be doing, you know. And I remember when he first came out with his book, they had a lot of people was worried about what he had in his book. He didn't have nothing bad about nobody, you know. Put it in the front right here. Yeah, he wasn't speaking bad of no one or nothing like this here. He was just trying to rattle our cage, you know, wake up people, you know, because if we don't wake up, we're gonna be in bad shape. And it seemed like that's what is trying to be now. And I appreciate you, Janice, for taking up his legacy, you know, speaking up on the things that you know he would be speaking about, and that's what makes it good. Brother Jay, give our disclaimer.
Okay, I'm gonna get to the side and say the views expressed on this television show does not necessarily express the views of AOC Community Media, the staff and management. Simply the comments, the concerns, and you know, the knowledge that we are putting forward on this show by Brother Wallace, Sister Janice, and the callers. That's a different disclaimer.
All right. Thanks for the disclaimer, Brother Jay. You know, where was I? Right.
Well, Brother Takuna was instrumental in many, many, many meaningful things that people just didn't understand. He was very instrumental in bringing Kwanzaa to Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he also brought Ujamaa. He was the first person to bring Ujamaa to Lafayette, which was in '89, and I was in awe as I look at one of the programs to see the meaningful things that took place at these events.
Mm-hmm.
And I have yet to see this again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's factual, you know. So that was one of the many things, Ujamaa, and he also was responsible for the Cajun committee, which many people fought because they didn't understand.
Who were the other members of that, if I could recall?
I'm sorry?
Who were the other members?
Adolfo Harmon.
Okay.
And even, I believe, Greg Davis at the time.
Yeah.
That he got the job
Okay.
at the Cajun Dome.
Right. And that just to show that wasn't something that Brother Takuna did by himself.
No, yeah.
I mean,
Adolfo.
You know, he was the flavor of it.
Yeah.
But apparently they saw fit to join him because there's a need for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Brother Adolfo,
Mm-hmm.
from what I'm understanding, was the first one that introduced a black Santa Claus to Lafayette.
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember that. They came to the house. We
Mm-hmm.
had my nephews who came from St. Louis and they did the project and,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
we had kids at
So-
that time.
You know, all these things that we have other people, you know, that fought for us, you know, that's fighting for us still. You know, you done became a sister warrior. You done became
I'm in
a sister
training.
warrior.
I'm in training.
Yeah.
Since they have so many.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all having a great show. I'm glad about when y'all talk about the dome and all this Cajun stuff. It reminds me of like in the old days, white only, colored on, And when President Barack Obama was president, in Lafayette, they had a committee called a Tea Party, representation or tax without representation. Well, we have the same thing over here, but nobody's not fighting it. They got a Cajun Dome, they got a university. That's our tax dollars supporting, and that's not representing the people of Lafayette. It's representing one culture, and it's very aggravating.
Yeah, well, it's aggravating to a lot of us, you know, but a lot of time we don't want to speak up for the things that need to be spoken up on, you know. And I think if we keep doing it, they're gonna hear us. Now they done a new, I hate to even mention the word field, you know, they tearing the old stadium down and putting a new one up, you know. So all these things, if we don't look out and see what's going on, shame on us, you know.
Thank you, caller.
The Kuna Regan, he tried to stop it, but the powers to be at that time, and you know, people wasn't into it like they is now. You know, maybe people couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel when he came out with all of this, and he had to die for people to. And, most everybody does that. Powerful people, once they die, then they become heroes. You know, people start looking at them a little bit better. But when they was living, nobody gave him his flowers while he was living. And you know, now is the time. It's not the time, but it's still. And I'm glad Ms. Green doing his legacy, keeping it up.
And one other thing, my brother Takuna was a big proponent of the way they named the mascot of UL, and that's a very important thing that we don't take notice of, because everywhere else they're getting rid of those derogatory mascots like the Redskin in DC, and the thing is, black people cannot be Cajuns, cannot be honorary Cajuns and have a sense of pride, and I'm not saying you should, because we don't call ourselves white. And you never see anyone from the Raging Cajun wearing a Southern University shirt or anything representing anything black. And that's what we got to understand. So he was a big proponent of changing that mascot and that whole naming of the young black athletes who are making a lot of money for UL.
And
but you know, a lot of guys didn't come to UL football or any sports. They got
Scholarship.
No, not the scholarship. The coach, Baldwin.
Right.
And he started recruiting all these black guys. And when they start coming, and once they got them, Associated Cajuns, they fired him. He sued. I don't know if he got the money he wanted, but that's what they do to us, you know. And then I think, to me, and that's my personal opinion, it's an embarrassment when they be on television nationwide. The Cajuns have this court and all the blacks running around the field, the court, basketball court, and I don't know if somebody should say, well, hey man, we got some black Cajuns, you know? That's just like that. They got some white people. You know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I mean, trying to figure this out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You're on the right track. You know, if more of us with things like we're thinking now, we might get something done, but it's not enough of it, and it only could happen in numbers. You know, the greater the number, the more money you got. You see?
Yeah.
Well, Carla, I just want to say and touch on some of the things that you said. It reminded me of a quote of Malcolm X, and that was one of Takuna's quotes that he always spoke of. In the words of Malcolm X, no matter how great a man or woman when alive, once physical death has made its claim, a dead man or woman cannot lead a revolution for a living people unless those among the living embodies the principal essence of our fallen comrades and become a living reflection of those principles. So people are being aware. People are coming into being aware of many things. You know, it's just a matter of time. It's going to take steam. And so many issues that has been gone unnoticed. The book, Black I Am, Cajun Creole I Am Not, was written in 1988. Wow. And if you look at the chapters in these books, he touched on everything. So if we stop running from this and let this be a blueprint, Black I Am, Cajun Creole I Am Not, and demand that this propaganda be put to the table. You know, so it's been spoken on many times for years, and it's gone to deaf ears. So now is the time, and the time is coming to where it's going to take steam.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you keeping this legacy up,
Mhm.
and I wish you all the best of luck. And don't stop it. It has to be told. The
Thank you.
story has to be told, because the more things go on, the worse it gets to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so maybe people that get in office and they got the power, they do what they want to do, not what the people want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a handful of people run Lafayette.
Hand me that book. Not
You know.
the Constitution. The Constitution book.
So,
Okay.
all right, y'all, that was good.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
see not well, the New Year and what
Kwanzaa.
the first is that we was free
Mhm.
of slaves,
Yeah.
so we're gonna celebrate that.
Okay. All right. My
All right, have a
call.
good one.
Yeah.
Thank
If you got anything else you want to say, call back. You
All
know.
right, guys,
Mhm.
ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, this is another thing that we don't know nothing about. Our U.S. Constitution, you know, Brother Takuna, and we got other people pushing this, you know. And once we learn our Constitution, we might become better people. You know, they got all kind of stuff in this book, but guess what? Nobody reads it. They don't teach it in the schools, you know. So, Sister Janet.
Brother Wilder, I want to say this, for those who, I don't have the graphic up on social media. We on a couple of social media channels, especially Facebook. Those who are watching, the number to call in is area code 337-347-7236. Again, 337-347-7236. I was
Okay.
texting about it. I don't have the number up on my social media.
Right,
I don't have the
right.
same graphic.
You know, but you know, how long I've been knowing you now? 15, almost 20 years. You know, and I'm gonna tell you, you come a long way, girl.
You ain't been knowing me 20 years. That's what I come a long way. What most people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the school system. I wasn't fighting the school system. It wasn't my problem. It was me as a woman
Mm-hmm.
that had humanity
Mm-hmm.
and humility that stood on the front line because I saw something that could be dangerous to others.
Mm-hmm.
So I stepped in that cesspool
Yeah.
and it became
Mm-hmm.
my problem.
Right,
Okay,
right.
and I fought it, and I'll say today, I fought like no one else could. So yes, I look back and I say that happened because it put me on this platform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I learned
Yeah,
what I was up against.
yeah, and you fought it,
And
you
I
fought
fought
it
it.
well.
And
you
I
fought-
had many leaders. I went to many people.
Yeah.
Many people. I
Yeah.
wasn't coming to complain like, oh, I need help. No, I was, and I did.
Yeah, and you
But
did it
I
well.
understand now. At the time I did, it was like I'm fighting because I'm not willing to allow someone to push me and say, hey, you're going to compromise me. I'm not accepting your compromise.
Right.
I want to handle the issue that was in your face
Mm-hmm.
as it should have been.
Yeah.
That's where I was. But during the process of going through, and you're fighting, you become where people just like, oh, she's fighting. No, I was a warrior.
Yeah. Yeah.
I fought and I wasn't running, and I didn't run.
You fought it
I
and you
took
won.
the bruises and the battle, and now I'm still here.
Yeah. Well, you see that you didn't
Mhm.
go into it with selfish motives, because if you went into it with selfish motives, once you got what you wanted done,
And I could have.
you just. I haven't been going to council meetings and stuff
Mhm.
like this here, but I see you go to council meetings. And
I
you
go from
you
time to
going
time.
with them then.
I go from
Yeah,
time to time
yeah.
when the need arises,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't just go to say, oh, I'm mad about something. I go because something comes on me it flows, and I go and I speak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking, and I know when I'm saying it's heard because I'm speaking from a position to where, hey,
Yeah.
take self-inventory of yourself.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And that's what makes it good,
Mhm.
you know. And you got people that's backing you
Mhm.
in what you're doing, you know. I'm not a warrior like I used to be,
Mhm.
you know, but I'm still there,
Yeah.
you know. Because right now they got so many people doing things for selfish reasons,
Many,
you know,
many.
and that's what's not good, you know. When once you get what you want for yourself, you forget about everybody else,
Mhm.
and that's not the way it's supposed to go, you know. So, Brother Jay, you got anything you need to?
Well, you,
It's a book
okay.
called From Niggas to God.
Okay.
I read this book, and I'm reading, as I'm reading, getting into the book, the tears just flowing because I'm like, oh my God. So I turned around to see when the book was written. And it seemed like it was written yesterday, and this book is over 25 years old. So I'm like,
Ahead of his time.
wow,
Mm-hmm.
this book I'm reading today, and it's 25 years old, and it's still relevant as it's happening now.
No.
So it just resonated with me. It says America, and that's spelled with the KKA, is finished with her slaves, and she never intended on letting them go free, for fear that they would one day rise and retaliate. She has no more use for her slaves, and she never wanted them to be used again by any other nation, and definitely not to be used by nor useful to them own selves. Her slaves are no longer a usable resource, but rather a problematic burden to her. She is finished with your black bodies. She now wants to dump her human waste, you and all of your family, into a mass grave of death, as if you never existed. But how can she dump you or kill you without the whole world retaliating against her, therefore losing her delicate political control over the world? How can she do this without looking like the devil savage beast that she is and always has been? She will craft you to appear as the devil savage beast instead. She will take you like clay between her fingers and make you into a savage nigger beast. She will make, shape, manipulate, and manufacture your wasted mind into an uncivilized, wild, ignorant, violent, murderous, threatening, animalistic, savage beast of a human being. Then she will feel justified to catch you, kill you, cage you. Catch that beast, kill that beast, cage that beast. America has courageously saved the world from the savage nigger beast. She wants the world to applaud your murder. And damn, is you falling for that trap or what? I said, is you falling for that trap or what, black man? The setup before the murder. Extermination of the black male, the assassination of God. Remember, the formula for public assassination is always this. The character assassination always precedes the physical assassination. Never forget that. It's a powerful piece.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. From nigga to God.
From niggas to God.
Where can we find that book?
Probably order online, Mr. Wallace. Probably
Okay.
get it from online. But the book is such a, it's a good book. It's so much in there. Like, oh my God, what wicked mind. Not say the author wrote the book, but that's his thoughts of how a wicked mind that's
Yeah.
trying to overpower us think.
Well,
He's given this to us as information, but this is the thoughts of a wicked
you know,
system.
yeah, you know, I listen to quite a few programs, and I hear people talk, you know, how things are going.
Mhm.
And my biggest issue was the White House.
Oh.
And now it ain't nothing but a boxing ring, you know, two parties,
Mhm.
the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. You know, they fighting among themselves. You look at how they fight among themselves about putting money in Ukraine and Israel and things like this here. And they just flat out deny us our reparation. They flat out deny the people that's homeless. the people that went to, they talking about immigration is bringing those drugs in. Immigration, they didn't have problems with immigration when Ronald Reagan was in office. When Ronald Reagan was in office, he made all kind of drug deals. And then when he got the drugs into the United States, they come out with war on drugs. And they would put the drugs out there on the street and tell black kids, this is your way out, you know, make that money. And then when they start making the money, they run and chase them like they were some rabbits or something like this here.
That's in the book.
Yeah.
In the book about the rappers, how it was designed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
You know,
one of the other things, Brother Wallace was, Brother Takuna, I can remember, and it would coincide the whole notion of Kwanzaa also, all these things coming together, was reparations. And,
Yeah.
and you said it, reparations right now is on the table across all the major cities in the United States, except the South.
so,
Except the South, where the slave masters made a lot of profit, a lot of these industries.
yeah.
I was researching, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off my because I tend to rant about a lot of stuff. And I used to tell Brother Takuna, he said, brother, you just got to take control. I was researching the Weeks family of Iberia Parish, how they had a lot of enslaved people working out there in the swamp, Avery Island, Weeks Island, whatever, and for sugarcane harvest, and how vicious it was. And they say, well, we're going to move the enslaved people to New Iberia. Now, there's the plantation called the Shadows on the Teche, well known. Tourists come there by the busload. They bring school kids there. And when I had that discussion with Brother Takuna a while back, I said, why would any self-righteous Jewish person would not go to Auschwitz and celebrate that's where their ancestors had their demise in such a horrible way? Well, the Shadows on the Teche, which was a plantation, that's the same Holocaust that we suffered, but we suffered in a different way. It still was vicious. It still was ruthless. People were not under control of their own lives. So some say, well, the slaves lived a good life. They had their slave quarters in the back, and no. I say it's the same. A plantation is nothing more than a glorified concentration camp. And I want to say that to those teachers and educators who want to bring those young kids to Takuna. I mean, he said, man, absolutely, my brother, 100%, 110%, I agree with you. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, he was very well educated. You know, matter of fact, he was educated himself. And him and I sat down one time and he talked about how they didn't want him to teach, you know, and they didn't want him to teach what he was supposed to be teaching to the kids, you know. So he quit teaching business. He was a hell of a basketball player. He did, you know, and that's what I liked about him. He stood up on his principle. He didn't mind getting in the front of a camera and tell you just how he feel. Because like I said, when we had a rally against a rally, and there was 5,000 of them, you know, and it was like maybe 50 or 60 of us. You know, we took on 5,000 people, you know, and when they was leaving that dome, you know, they was calling us all kind of names with ignorant. They talking ignorant right now. And that's how Brother Takuna would speak to me. Man, don't put ignorant with ignorant. And that was making sure we had a voice in that auditorium.
I want to share a brief story of Takuna. When he was coaching, his team played in Plaquemine, I think one of those little towns, and they were winning the team by 30 points. Okay. During the halftime, they were winning by so much. So when the fourth quarter came, Brother Takuna told his team, don't make another point because they was whipping them so bad, you know. But even so, he tells the story how at the last 4 minutes, the other team was so aggressive to his players, and they wasn't doing any calling or whatever. So Brother Takuna made a conscious decision. He gave Brother Takuna left the game before it finished because he thought his players' safety was more important than winning a game, which they had already won. But he said even when they got on the bus, the kids and the parents were throwing stuff at him. It was vicious. And when they came, you know, they had to answer to the principal. The principal told them what happened. They told the principal what happened, but the league still told them that they forfeit the game. They had to go to Baton Rouge, however you go. The league told them how they would never amount to nothing, this, and stuff. And that just shows his character. He left. What coach would stop a game regardless of whatever for safety reasons? You know, because it's all about winning. But he had so much principle, and this is when he was in his 20s. So his character, his knowledge, like we talk education. But I could say education is one thing, but education without knowledge is just, it doesn't work. So he was a knowledgeable man. So that's how I would categorize him. Knowledgeable.
Well, he even had a bookstore. You know?
Did.
He had a bookstore. And
he had many things. His history is just
it's just out there.
Meaningful things that's
but
there.
We are not accepting our blackness the way it should be. You know. Seems like some of us are scared to accept our blackness, but he wasn't. He, like I say, he was unapologetic to what he was trying to teach you. You know, he had self-mastery classes. Because I went to a few of his classes at Imani Temple, you know, and everything that he was trying to teach you, it wasn't a lie. You know, you could understand what he said. And sometimes he got a little up there in his education, you know, and threw some words out there. And I had to ask him after the thing, hey man, what did that mean, what you said? And he would sit down and explain to me.
And that's what I'm saying. So he surpassed his knowledge. I mean, it was nothing against anyone else. He just was, at the time, maybe in a different era than most. So it wasn't because I'm against you or whatever. He just was trying a genius in his own right.
Yeah, he was trying to bring you out to be black, not to be Cajun I am, you know. And he tried to explain that to you. He wasn't a Cajun, he wasn't a Creole, he was black, you know, and he's trying to teach you how to be black, you know. So, you know, and a lot of us don't understand that, you know. I told somebody one day, I said, man, I think I'm too black. You know, what you mean by that? I said, because I'd rather shop black. I'd rather stay in my black neighborhood. You know, it's just like right now, they're trying to take neighborhood from Fightonville, you know, Fightonville neighborhood, and put LaPlace in there. I can't go with that. I was raised up in Fightonville. I'm not gonna change now because I'm too old. You know, I want to stay in Fightonville. That's where my mother and them raised me at. That's where she had my people had families at. You understand me? So leave Fightonville alone. Go to LaPlace. Take LaPlace on the other side of town somewhere else, you know? And I'm not gonna go with, like I always hear, take it to the south side. No, just get rid of it. Don't even take it nowhere else. You know, take it to Youngsville.
And you say this, you say, I won't say he was saying so much as teaching us to be black. He was more so teaching us the truth, to understand the truth, to know that we could know who we were, know thyself. Because one thing I can say today, and I will say it, Brother Takuna was a truth teller, and no one has ever called him a liar.
Nope.
Because they couldn't. So I'll say that today.
Yeah.
He was a truth teller, and his main thing was, I'd rather tell the truth than to be a popular liar in your face every day.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of time I'll be talking to people, say, man, this is about the third time telling me this story. And every time you told it, the same way I heard it the first time, I heard it this time. I said, well, if I start telling you lies, I got to think about the lie
Yeah.
that I told you to tell you another lie to make a lie of. But if you keep telling the truth, you can't go wrong. But folks, we need to get this book for our kids. You know, let me have Brother Takuna book. We need to match this up with his book here. You know, we need to match this up with his book. You know, and make sure that we understand what's going on. If you got to read it twice, that's okay. You know, if you got to read 3 times, that's okay too. Long as we getting the knowledge, you know. And
1047.
his picture is on the back of the book, you know. So you can't miss him, you know.
I'm gonna read that planner.
Sister Janet's got a T-shirt on,
Oh.
you know, with him on it, you know. So, you know, these things we have to learn. You know, we have to learn the book of knowledge. You know, that's what I call it, the book of knowledge. You know.
I want to read his planter. This is one of his writings that I think it's just an awesome writing. It's called The Planter. If you are to be accepted as a planter among your people, you must plant the seeds that will produce the needed harvest. If your people are hungry, you must plant the seed of the corn. If they are uneducated, you must plant the seed of knowledge. If they are culturally confused and economically misused, you must plant the seeds of culture, pride, and prosperity. If they are politically disenfranchised, you must plant the seeds of spiritual enrichment and direction. As the planter embedded with the knowledge of God, you must spare no efforts to alert your people to the nourishment that come from the eating of the harvest. If you fail in doing so, all who does not eat of the harvest shall perish. Takuna Malani of El Shabazz, 1988. Wow.
And that's a long time.
Yes.
You know, and that might be one of the books they might be trying to take out the library.
Well, I don't think they want to put it in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Well, it should
Actually, in some parts of the country, they're trying to remove. I mean, it's not an educational mandate, but there's a lot of Kwanzaa books in the libraries around the country, and they try. Some states, some of these red states, and I'm not saying Democrats and Republicans, they both the same to me. But the red states, meaning the conservative Republicans, they're trying to remove Kwanzaa out of these libraries. Wow. And that's not even an educational curriculum thing, Kwanzaa.
Right.
And so they're telling you how far they're going. So
Yeah, well, they do not want us to have enlightenment on what's going on with us. You know, I remember one time I said the Pledge of Allegiance to a white man. He said, "Where did you learn that at?" I said, "In the education school."
Well, me personally, I no longer say the Pledge of
Right.
Allegiance.
You know,
You know.
no.
yeah, I never
So,
stand.
I
and
don't
that's-
stand, nor do I say it.
Yeah, they
I'll
want to put me
stand
out
up
one
with the
event
prayer,
in a
but I
long
won't
time.
even stand.
Yeah, well, you know, I told a guy one time, I had a Florida leaf on his shirt, and he got on me about having that Florida leaf on my shirt. I said, well, now, you got a cap on. Say, U.S. Marine. At one time, they didn't want you in there. On the side of that cap, you got the American flag, and that flag killed more people, you understand me, than Florida leaf was branded on us, you know? So, like I said, we got to understand what's going on, you know, and we got to know thyself. You know, that's how Brother Cooney used to say it. Know thyself, you know. So, Janice, look, our time is winding down, baby girl. You got anything else you want to?
Well, I just want to, like I said, the holidays are mixed up in emotions, you know, like they
Yeah.
call Thanksgiving, Happy Misgiving,
Misgiving.
Yeah.
the 4th of July is the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
The Christmas, many of us still buy gifts and tell our children some nice white man bought this for you. How foolish.
I've heard,
How
I
foolish.
heard some kids say this year,
You know,
oh, Santa
My
Claus,
daddy bought me my gifts.
Santa Claus was, I thought he was white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that, you know, next we have Martin Luther King celebration
Yeah.
coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish,
Why
and
should we invite to those celebrations and speak, guest speakers?
Yeah. I hope, you know, like anybody listening to understand the King from 1965 to 68 came into an awakening.
Yes.
And he realized that the dream that he sold his people had become a shattered dream. So I would implore them to look at one of his videos called The Three Evils of Society. And it will give you a perspective of Dr. King and hope that y'all can address or bring that to the forefront when we're celebrating King in his true essence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
But
how you-
you know, we're gonna have a King parade,
Mhm.
you know, and like Jay said, we're gonna have all these white speakers.
That's what I'm saying.
You
But
know?
hypocritical white speakers,
Yeah,
not only
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying. So,
But we always put them first,
Mhm.
you know. No, I don't say put them last, but don't put them first neither, you know. You look at some of the things that's going on now. All you see is white faces, you know. All you see is white faces, and they in control over a lot of things that's going on with us,
yeah.
you know. And our supposed to be leaders put them in front of us.
Well,
Our supposed to be leaders put them in front of us, you know. It's like they can't take the lead.
they can't because they're in a system. When they understand they're in a system, that's the process they have to go through.
Yeah.
So when you step out of it and say you're going to do it from a perspective of principles, morals, and humanity, then you can say to me, you can lead me.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing and I'm open to all worthy men and women that speak truth, that, you know, just
Truth to
humanity.
power.
Truth is unchanging.
Yeah, you know.
It don't change.
Well, Janice, we didn't come down to the end of the hour. I want to really thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you, you know, and if you ever have something that you want to say
Don't
again,
be a stranger. Come back
don't
to
be a
AOC.
stranger, you know.
I could
It's
see
not
Sister
like-
Janice with her own show.
Yeah,
I like the back. Like I say, you may not see me in the forefront, but I do much in the background, and I can assure you and tell you, if you don't see me in the forefront, you can be assured that someone then got something very well constructed from me, addressing whatever issue that may need to be addressed. So when they see me scream, we good.
yeah. So, folks, you know, y'all have good Kwanzaa. The rest of it, you know what? We got one more day of Kwanzaa.
No, it's Sunday. Today's the 4th day.
Okay, so Sunday we got.
I'm sorry, Monday.
Okay, we got that to go with. Hope everybody have a good New Year, good gumbo weather. You know, enjoy everything that's going down. You know, so until next Friday, you know, peace, love, and happiness. You did very well.
Thank you, sir.
Let me cut the screen off right here.
I was